What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
4 matches, as I adjust my headphones. 4 matches to go over this week.
So many.
It's going to be like that for the rest of the season.
Oh, man. What are we going to do? Oh, man.
A lot of talking.
Yes.
Long episodes. Hopefully
So,
not too long.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, unless we have anything that we have to talk about before. Oh, yeah. So, free-for-all rules changed from the last time we recorded this.
Right.
So now the winner doesn't get any points.
And
but
they get their title
But they get the title
shot.
shot, so an opportunity for 7 points. Mm-hmm. And then the MVP gets 1 point. I mean, a lot of heated debate on this one again.
I think it might just be a matter of trusting the process.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because I kind of, I
it's
feel
one
like
of those
a point,
things.
at least a point would be nice.
At least for a
free
point.
for all.
and it's like, yeah, you get the opportunity for 7 points, but it's just an opportunity. There's no guarantees you'll get those points, but it's a huge discussion. But there's so many factors to think about. Like, what if you're the last person in and you win? It's like, how's that fair for the others? And there's so many, and I think the order is being handled differently this year. It's no longer random, or to my understanding,
has to be kind of handled
It has
a bit.
It has to be handled a little bit different, because like, what happens if all your players get put into the front randomly?
Exactly.
And now you have to work harder. I think spots are allocated throughout.
It's somewhat structured, but with an element of randomness.
I think so.
If
Yeah.
that's
So
a
it's.
word.
I think it's like
I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a melding of two, so it's fair to all the factions.
Yeah.
And it adds a lot of strategy to it. It's like, where do you put your player then?
Yeah, because it's like, okay, do you want to put William Bibiani in the beginning because he's William Bibiani, or do you wait until the end and pack the second half of your roster with your heavier hitters that you know are going to really slug it out?
Are you going for the title shot, or are you going for the point?
Exactly.
So
are you trying to get yourself an MVP, or are you trying to get yourself that title shot?
The more that I thought about it, the more that we talked about it and discussed, I'm like, that makes a lot more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the winner doesn't get a point, but they get the opportunity for a title shot and the MVP.
Yes.
So when you factor all that together, it's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. If you're like player number 1 and you end up winning the whole thing, it's like, oh, I did all that for no points.
Yeah.
But you could also be competitor number 40.
Yeah.
And just win that one round and be like, oh, okay, cool, I have a title shot.
And say you pull a Bibiani, you go in first and you end up winning, you get the point and you get the title shot. So
True.
It works out. So it's a lot of strategy.
If you're in it that long, you're probably going to be the MVP too.
Yeah.
So, if you're playing that crazy, you're probably going to be the MVP too.
Yeah.
But, it's whatever. Let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. Because, I feel like a lot of people, I feel like the overall lesson that is to be learned from season 8 at this point in time is just let it happen.
Let it happen.
Just let it happen. It's gonna happen.
Because
let it happen.
There's a bunch of other things that are like, what is going on? And not just competition wise, but like
storyline
wise. It's like what?
Yeah.
What?
It's like, I don't understand it, I can't wait to see where it goes.
We'll see.
For it to make sense for me. Mm-hmm. So, just kind of, it's season 8. War. Also, the subtitle is Let It Happen.
War. Just let it happen.
Actually, that's weird putting that together, actually. I don't know. Yeah. That was weird. But, it's kind of like if there was an alternate title to season 8, it's just kind of like, hey, baby, let it happen.
Just go with it.
It'll be okay. So
we'll do it live.
The first match.
Yes, let's go ahead and get into the first match.
So, first of all,
again, spoilers, because we're going to be going over the pay-per-view. I'm gonna. This is the last time I'll say this. Every episode will be spoiler.
I don't
heavy.
think it's gonna be the last time. I think I'm gonna say it. I'll say it every time.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen any of these matches, pay-per-view, Dan Murrell, Jeff Sneider, we're gonna talk about it. Amaru, Jesse, you got yourself Chandru. Wait, not Chandru. You got yourself Sean Marie Wilson, and you got yourself Marisol and Vinny. If you haven't seen those, come back and join us later. Otherwise, we'll tell you what the hell happens. So, from the first match, the opening cutscene, there's lots of scenes in this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Last week, my bad. Andrew Guy wakes up in his classic team action suit. He pours himself a nice drink, some kind of a brandy, I can imagine, some sort of a whiskey. I don't know, potato. Mm-hmm. That's same thing. I don't know about what that. And then he's doing his thing. He's getting ready. He's brushing his teeth and he's, doing his thing in the mirror.
I like the
It's
the turnaround.
He's a gem. And then he just kind of at the end he's like, Bateman. I gotta call Bateman. And so of course everyone's like, oh my God, team action. And it's like, okay, first of all, Ben Bateman is on the dungeon. They don't have any open slots. And even if they did, do you really think that they're gonna be like, sorry, Dan Murrell, we're not gonna team you up with Ben Bateman?
Yeah,
like that's
and
not
you
gonna
can't
happen.
you can't pick him up anyways. You can't do that until free agency.
That too,
from my understanding.
I don't know.
So yeah.
But it was fun for a quick second to be like, oh my God, team action. But then you sit back and think about it, and it's like, I think there's something else going on, and we will get to that. Because, other things go down later.
Yeah.
So let's head into Jesse the Jackal Swift.
Oh, this is a...
Oh, it is. It's an inner faction in our
inner household faction
war. Just let it happen. Jesse the Jackal Swift is, of course, representing the Mercs, the quirky Murkies. And then he's going against Amaru Moses of the Suspects. Amaru. Round 1. Jesse missed a question about Lord of the Rings. Something about Theoden.
Oh, it was...
Who knows?
One of the Who Said It lines, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
They both missed a Harry Potter question, and then Jesse ended up missing a Terminator 2 question. Who's even seen that? Am I right,
T2?
Ladies? T2, the Mighty Ducks?
No.
Terminator 2. Is that the
Judgment
one where
Day.
that's the one where the guy's liquid metal?
Yes.
And he got cop hair, and he's running after the
Yeah.
cop. Okay, yeah, never mind.
A lot of people think that's the best one out of the
franchise.
franchise.
The first one? I thought that one was the first one.
No, the first one is when
wakes up naked.
All the Terminators come back naked because you can't send back clothes and
every Terminator.
Oh, Jesus, sorry, I'll bleep that out.
Every Terminator starts with naked?
Comes back naked.
Like we see them?
Yes. You don't see, but yeah. They're naked when they come back.
Wow.
That's the famous line of, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Nice.
Yeah. Was that good?
Wait, was that the first or the second one?
The second one. In the first one, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. He's the bad guy.
He's always a Terminator.
Yeah, he's the bad guy in the first one. He's coming after Sarah Connor and Kyle Trask. I think that's his name.
It's not Star Wars. Don't worry about it.
No, but the first one is they're going after Sarah Connor.
Okay.
The second one is T-1000 is coming after John Connor.
Oh. And is that the one where she watches the playground get demolished by that firestorm thing?
Yeah. They have the bomb.
Never mind. I have seen T2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Love T2. Come on now. Classic action.
It's just been a while. Get off my back.
Sci-fi action. Awesome movie.
By the end of round 1, 7-9, Amaru. Round 2. Jesse goes first. Spins away from Star Trek. Don't blame you. Gets comic book movies. Seems like the meat of an IG match,
Yeah.
So he goes multiple choice one time. Got it. 2-point miss. Actually, 2 2-point misses.
2, yeah, that's right.
Both with no steal. One of them very controversial.
Yeah, so let's get into that a bit.
We don't need to get into it too much because it was resolved.
Yeah, it was resolved in the Facebook group. PJ actually
addressed it
in the Facebook
Christian
group
to some effect too.
Yeah, so the answer he gave was Superman the movie. And in the answer sheet was Superman the motion picture, which I immediately what? Challenged that because everywhere I've looked, everywhere that I've known I have the Blu-ray, it says Superman the movie. But they from what we hear on later in the matches, they wanted to challenge it. It's just the rules are once the next question starts getting asked, your opportunity to challenge is gone. So they can't challenge that anymore.
Right. And I think Jesse, there was discussion about it in the Facebook group a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Jesse even jumped in at one point and was like, hey man, it was my first match. Didn't have the gall. I forget what word he used. But he didn't, it was my first match. I didn't have the gall to challenge.
Yeah, I think,
and it'll just make me more aware for next time.
He didn't want to be that rookie that was like, I want to challenge that just because, you know what I mean?
Who could blame him?
Yeah,
it's your first match. You're true. You got a lot of things on your mind, and you don't want to come off like, challenge that, right
being
away.
That player. Yeah.
So, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It is what
and
it
it's
is.
it's one of those things that just slip by the writers.
And it didn't affect. I don't think that even had he got those points, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the match.
Yeah.
But it still would have been nice as far as PPE and
points
accuracy,
points earned,
all that
accuracy
kind of
rate, just like the accolades, and his mindset too. I think that kind of affected him. It's like,
yeah,
man, missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
So,
but it is what it is. PJ addressed it. Christian addressed it too, if I'm not mistaken, and it just kind of is what it is, and people make mistakes.
It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, things like this will happen. I mean, you have so many writers, you have so many people looking over the document,
and everybody's human.
Yeah, so mistakes happen sometimes, and this is just one.
It's just unfortunate when it happens, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and luckily it didn't have any effect on the outcome of the match.
Right,
so,
you're right.
You live, you learn.
Then you get loves.
Yes.
So, Amaru goes, spins away from scores and soundtracks. Yeah. Gets Batman. He goes to multiple choice 3 times. Missed one. It got stolen. Got one. Missed the other, but no steal. So by the end of round 2, 13-14, Amaru. Amaru. We'll get there. Round 3.
He's on your faction.
He's on my faction. That's true. So, round 3, 2 point. Jesse gets mixed bag. Who stars as the lawman Roy in R.I.P.D.?
Oh, this is another one where
is that Resident Evil?
No, R.I.P.D.
What's R.I.P.D.?
It was that dumb movie. I've heard nothing but dumb things about it.
I'm thinking of the Raccoon City Police Department. That's not this?
No. This is that movie with Ryan Reynolds and what's his face? So he said Ryan Reynolds was actually the other guy.
Oh, my bad.
What's his name?
Yeah, he did miss it. I didn't write it down.
You didn't write it down? Yeah, but I've heard nothing but dumb things about this movie.
Is it animated?
No, it's live action.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I thought it was Resident.
No, it's I've heard it's not a good movie.
3-pointer for Jesse. Swashbuckling adventures. We're getting a lot of swashbucklers.
Yeah, and I like it. It mixes the vision up. It mixes it up a little bit. It's like because from before these new titles like this, these are still movies that we've had questions about in the Inner Geekdom, but now it gets its own category, its own slice, and it's restructured, and because now we're not just getting MCU comic book films, Star Wars,
DCU,
you know what I mean. So we get more than just the staple comic books.
Yeah. So shake it up. Shake it up. So he gets swashbuckling adventures. In what year was the Lone Ranger released? Didn't write down the answer, but he got it. So good job, Jesse. I bet he could tell us again, or I could rewatch it. 2-pointer for Amaru.
It was the Mask of Zorro, or
what?
No, what am I doing? Never mind.
I don't know because I'm as you're talking, I was deleting.
Oh, the Lone Ranger. Sorry.
Lone Ranger. There you go. 2-pointer. Amaru. DC. Finish the line spoken by Batman to Superman in Batman vs. Superman. Dawn of Justice. Do you something?
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Oh, right. Right. Because when that question came up, I was like, do you? You get a 2-word lead?
It's in all the trailers. So was that his 3-pointer? 2-point. Yeah, so that's why it's a 2-pointer. It was part of the marketing. It was all over the trailer, so it's like
I didn't know it.
That's why it's a 2-pointer.
That with the 2-word lead in. But he got it. Good job. Yeah. 3-pointer, staying with Amaru. Alien versus Predator. Who plays Special Agent Peter Keyes, who is a DEA agent leading a special task force in Predator 2. He got it. Never seen Alien or Predator or the two.
I've seen a handful.
All right, they have their own standalones, and then they have a versus against each other.
They're part of the same universe. They're its own little cinematic universe.
Boy, Jesse, 5-pointer, dystopian future / time travel.
Oof, what a category!
Oh boy, who plays Wilford, the creator and caretaker of the engine in Snowpiercer? And it was as if we heard a million PLDs scream and then we're silent. Whatever that Obi-Wan quote is. I've seen Star Wars. The answer was Ed Harris. Yeah. And he did miss it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it was if a million voices. It was if 1,000 voices cried out and then we're silence. Death Star.
Yeah, close. You got close.
16-19. Amaru wins that one. It was a good match.
It was good. It was a good rookie match.
It was a good rookie match. A lot of hype behind both of these names. I think that it just makes people more excited to see them come back. I think both have room for improvement.
I think that's the takeaway for both of these competitors. There's room for improvement. For Amaru, I mean, he has to do a bit more for me to you're the there's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
You're the first pick for the suspects, second pick overall, round 1 pick. So it's got a lot of eyes on you, a lot of expectations coming towards you. All this talk. He's part of what do you call the fan
League 4.
The fan League 4 of those competitors that all made it in. So it's a lot is riding on
the Fantastic Four. I don't know what they call them.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of hype behind you. There's a lot of expectations. If you don't plow through everything, it's are you worthy of that pick? It's first match, jitters, whatever. So
it's a first match.
It's just what it is. You take this one as a learning experience. It's all right, so this is what I did wrong in this match. This is where I need to brush up on. Your first match in the big leagues. So I don't hold it against him for missing it. It's does he live up to the hype at this point? Sure, not.
It remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen. I mean, a win's a win.
A win's a win, and it's not like we're trying to say that it was a poor showing. Not at all. I mean, they both beat me. I was knocked out in round 1. But it was just kind of what you're saying is with all the talk, it's kind of like a Robert Parker situation.
Exactly.
And it's not to say that they don't live up to the hype, but it's it just remains to be seen. Stuff happens in your first match. Stuff happens in your rookie season sometimes. So there's always room to grow, and that's the great thing is that both of them, I'm sure, were I probably could have. Maybe I should have checked down to multiple choice. Maybe I should have gone with my gut. Maybe I should have. And then now it's okay, I'm going to be stronger for next time.
Yeah, and that's
I think that's the most exciting part. Is that one of the things that Amaru said was, his goal is by the end of the year, he wants to be better than where he was when he started.
Exactly.
Which is a very attainable and reasonable goal. Isn't that everybody's?
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting to see them take this foundation and build upon it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what the rest of watch their careers with great interest.
And as far as Jesse goes, I mean, not the cleanest of matches for his, and again, it's just his rookie match. A lot of the attention was on Moses, so I think there's a couple of things that happened in this match where I think, like you said, I really wish I would have done this.
Yeah.
Hey man, take it from somebody that lost his first 2 matches. You learn from every single loss.
Yeah.
And you learn, and you take those lessons, you move forward, and hopefully you do better in your next match. And if you so like I said, not everybody wins their first match. Not everybody wins their first 2 matches.
Yeah, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah, exactly. So
unfortunately,
you take what happened in this, and you see, all right, I obviously need to study up on this area. I need to make sure that if I have to check down, I check down. Another big lesson was the challenge for Jesse. It's I know, it's my gut is telling me that I need to challenge this. Listen to your gut. Yeah. Every competitor can always tell you. Your gut tells you one thing, but you're not sure.
Usually go with
your gut. Your gut is right because your head's telling you something's pay attention to this because So I think it's a lesson for him. Yep, listen to my gut. I know I was right. He was right. So but yeah, good showing for both of them.
We learn.
Yeah, you can always for both of them. Sky's the limit. So you can only get better from here.
Yeah.
So.
Rookie matches, baby. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Opening scene for the next match. We got a scene between Chandru and Laura of Swag.
Yeah, I forgot about this one.
Chandru was kind of, he said a lot of things, a lot of words, saying that Shannon betrayed Laura and they need to kind of team up, get more people in their corner. They both seem to not be the biggest fans of Winston right now, which is like we were talking about before, a storyline element that we're what?
Yeah, what's going on?
But I'm sure there's a plan in place, so I'm excited to see where it leads. But they're just saying how they need to get more people in their corner. So, and him just trying to say corruption left you behind.
Yeah, it's basically Chandru trying to get people behind him to get Winston to leave,
maybe,
or
I don't know,
step down as manager. And this is coming out of almost nowhere. It's what's going?
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't get it, but I'm sure we will.
From the part of me, again, beyond the Schmoedown, pull back the curtain a little bit. Maybe Winston has some real world stuff that he has to take care of, And he's like, hey, I need to step away for a bit. So let's make this, let's make this like, weave this into the story. So it's not like, all right, peace, guys, I got to leave. So it's like, let's make it interesting.
Yeah.
So that could be what they're doing.
And it sure is, because I'm confused as hell.
Yeah.
So we'll see what where it
happens.
goes. Unless I'm missing something, which I don't think I am. I don't know. Next match, we got ourselves a Star Wars match between Sean, the Saint Sullivan of Corruption, versus the marvelous Marie Wilson of The Usual Suspects.
Yes, I had big eyes on this match. All my attention was pretty much, this is the match of the week besides the pay-per-view that was like, this is taking all my attention right now, because obviously it's Star Wars division, but it's the rookie Dragon Con player coming in and meeting it's his second year. By that standard, he's a vet, but Karloff actually kept referring to him as sophomore Sean Sullivan.
Yeah, because it does seem kind of odd in your second season to be like a veteran.
I mean, come on, man, it's you played, you learned lessons, you played, so you're one of the established players in the division.
Exactly.
Going up against one of these Dragon Con phenoms coming in. So I was very interested in seeing. And I've been saying, yes, Sullivan's going to make an improvement this season. Watch out for him. He went so late in the draft. I thought he went later than he should have.
Yeah.
So I was really interested to see what kind of improvements he made in his knowledge base and his study habits. And then obviously Marie.
We've seen what she can do. We're all well aware.
The most recent Dragon Con champion.
Yeah.
Won it this past year.
Yeah.
Beat both Alex and Thomas.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Zach, for that matter, all the people in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
And Molly, for that matter, because they were all in Dragon Con.
Yeah, everybody keeps forgetting. It's like, technically, I've already beaten a Dragon Con player. Technically.
You ain't wrong. It's true.
Yeah.
So, moving right along, because we have about 80 matches.
Yeah.
Round 1. They both missed the first place to celebrate after burning Vader, the first planet, to celebrate. Sean celebrating after Luke burned Vader, and it was Bespin as per usual. Always guess Bespin.
Always guess Bespin.
If you're not sure. I think Marie said Coruscant. I forget what Sean said.
I think Sean said Naboo.
Naboo. That's what it was. Yeah.
And they're both in there. It's just they needed the first one.
Sean. Right. And somebody in the Facebook was like, isn't it Endor?
It's like you were just on
PJ
Endor.
was like, no, Endor's a moon, and the question specifically said planet.
Oh,
so technicalities.
I think PJ. I don't mean to disagree with PJ, but like I think PJ's just going too like specific with it. After burning Luke's body, you're already on Endor. So what's the next one you see?
True,
I think that's the way I would argue it.
I think he's just showing you an ironclad way of being like, this is why, this is the answer.
Planets and moons, and they're all like interwoven with each other. Systems, planets are like in Star Wars, like. Sometimes people refer to a planet as a system. They refer to it as a moon. They refer to a moon as a planet. It's like Star Wars is all over the place with that.
True,
so I wouldn't make that the big point of your argument.
I disagree. I think that what he was doing was showing you beyond the shadow of a doubt. This is why this is the answer.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that was what he was doing. That's
just my take on it.
Well,
so
that's my take on it. And it's PJ's. So. You know how that. So, and they both missed a question. Oh man, I love this question.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They both missed in The Last Jedi. What is Kylo Ren's response after Rey calls him a monster? When she says you are a monster, what's his response? And I love that line because it's like,
yes, I am.
So unfortunately they both missed it. It's like, oh boy,
give you tinglies.
You single? So 8-8 by the end of round 1.
Not. Stop it.
So round 2, Marie spins return, sticks with it. Another question. The question about being displeased with the lack of progress. Who personally oversaw the final stages of the second Death Star? And I believe she said Vader. But the answer was Palpatine. She did miss it with no multiple choice, and Sean did get it. He got a 2-point steal.
Yeah, this is one of those questions where I initially heard. I was like, you can argue both for Vader and Palpatine, but then you look at the question further, and it's like most displeased. I think that was the one that steered towards Palpatine. I think
because that was the key part of the question, was the being displeased with the lack of progress.
Yeah, because I think if that wasn't in there, you can argue for it. It could be either or.
I know. I think that first phrase in the sentence was pointing you to where they wanted to go with the answer.
Exactly.
But yeah, had it been worded differently, you know. And then she got another question about EB99. She got it. Slimy piece of worm-ridden filth.
That
she got it.
That's one of those quotes where it's like, the quote. It's just like, it's hard to like, you're tonguing it really tight saying it.
Yeah, and it just happened to me. You got to make sure that you say them in the right order.
Exactly. So it's like that's a good pull for her because like saying that line, it's like, damn, I know words.
I do know words. Overconfidence being the emperor's weakness. She got it. Leia being kind but sad. Got it. Yeah, and no multiple choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Marie's round 2.
One slip up.
The one slip up. Sean goes. He spins away from the Force Awakens and gets Attack of the Clones. Shmi, how long was she gone before they, went out to go look for her and stuff? A month. Got it. One of the funniest creatures in all of Star Wars, the Shack from
Fat butt cow.
the Fields of Naboo.
That's what I call it.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
And then he got the 200,000 clones ready. We're on Camino and stuff. He got it.
More well on the way.
The last question was one that was on the interesting side.
Yes. Yeah.
Yoda calls the mind of a child truly wonderful as it is what? And he did check down to multiple choice. There was some discussion about this one in a Facebook group too that I think has since been...
It's been resolved.
I don't know if resolved is the right word, but it's just been kind of like,
addressed.
Hey, man.
Yes. Yeah, it was addressed in the Facebook group. And truth be told, like being completely transparent, when we heard it, we're like, what? That's interesting. That's a very confusing question, in my opinion.
But
blah, 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 blah,
in
blah,
any
blah.
case, he went to multiple choice. He went to multiple choice. He did miss it, and Marie did steal it. The answer was uncluttered.
Yeah.
So, 17-18 in favor of Sean. Round 3, 2-pointer for Marie. Heroes. In The Return of the Jedi, which rebel leader proclaimed the Emperor made a critical error? Blah, blah, blah. Mon Mothma, she got it. Bounces to Sean, 2-pointer, The Clone Wars. James Arnold Taylor, he got it. 3-pointer for Marie, Revenge. What is the name of the Varactyl Obi-Wan rides on Utapau? Love this question. Boga, very adorable.
God, it's one of these things where it's like, you study this all the time.
You're like, God, I want to.
I was like, I want to have that question because that's one of those things. Where like, oh man, I would love to have this question. Just like flex all over everybody. It's like, it's Boga.
Little Miss
it's Boga.
Little Boga, so cute. 3-pointer for Sean. Who said it? If we can make it to the ground, we will take the next chance and the next, on and on until we win or the chances are spent. Unfortunately, he went with Cassian. Right movie, wrong character. It was Jin. He missed it. So we stay with Sean for his 5-pointer. Villains. The name of the Imperial general who informs Tarkin that there is a rebel incursion on Scarif.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he did miss
Scarif.
And it was... Hurst Ramodi. Unfortunately, he did miss it. I forgot what he said.
He said Coda or something like that.
Something like that. That's right. So he did miss it. So it ends up being 20-22 in favor of the marvelous Marie Wilson.
And Rogue One back-to-back questions.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's rough. I mean, Schmoedown can be a terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Hell of a drug.
Yeah.
yeah, that's rough.
It's a rough go. I mean. I think you look at this match and like they both had a couple of stumbles here and there, and it seemed to be a lot of the same type of stumbles for them. Does this like, oh look, Dragon Con players? It's like, it
wasn't a knockout.
It wasn't a knockout. But she also did very well. Sullivan, I think he did improve in a couple of areas. It's just I think it's a lot of what Molly is doing, paying attention to the deep fivers, and then kind of stumbling on the like.
Not to call out Molly because literally she said that in her last match.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like.
The only reason I'd bring it up is because of the last match before this one, and it's the most recent occurrence of it's kind of the same occurrence. That's
and she literally said, sometimes when you're digging for the 3s and the 5s, you sometimes forget some of the things that are that could be considered more surface level.
Yeah.
So it definitely happens. I mean, it happens to me too.
Yeah,
all the time.
It happens to everybody.
Andrew asked me a question that he'll be like, have you seen the movie? You should, and I miss it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, but I can tell you the name of this stupid droid.
Yeah. And then also, we'll get into this later too. Like, again, questions are subjective. Difficulty of questions are subjective.
Always.
Sometimes I think it's like, that's a 5-pointer. And for me, it's maybe not a 5-pointer, but for somebody else, it's a 5-pointer.
Yeah. 100%. So it comes up again kind of in the Dan and Jeff match. Because somebody made a comment in the face. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But faction mate of yours, what I mean, I'm sure you saw this coming. I mean, you've talked to Marie, and you guys have had speaks.
Yes.
So, like, what did you think of her performance? Like,
I thought her performance was great.
Mm-hmm.
She did well. It was her first match in this kind of a format, because it's really easy to be like, oh, Dragon Con's gonna come in here and sweep everything. Herp. But like we've said, and 1,000 people have said a zillion times, it is a different format. It's a different game.
That was all
probably a different feel too.
Yeah.
Because Dragon Con, it's kind of like you got like 10 people, and it's kind of like you get your question, and then you just kind of get to sit, take a breather while 9 more people answer, and then it's the next round, same deal. I answer my question, okay, I get to sit back. And with this one, it's like your question, my question, your question, my question. So it's kind of like it's got to feel different, a bit of a stamina component. It's also a very different focus because it's not all of canon, but just this canon, So I thought she did great, and I feel like there is not a single rookie match where you cannot say the statement of always room for improvement. That's always true.
It's always true. You can say that about everybody.
You got to get your jitters out. Even if you don't appear jittery, I'm sure you are on the inside. I mean, unless you're just chill.
Yeah.
Even if people look calm, like whenever it happens for me, I might look calm, but trust me.
Yeah.
I'm shivering me timbers on the inside. Or I will be. But yeah, no, I thought she did great. And of course, I'm sure that there was a miss or two that she had that she was like, oh no, how.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be something that you're like, okay, well, I'm going to learn from that. So failing your greatest teacher it is. So
I think, the Dragon, especially Marie, like most recent winner, like, there's room for improvement. Maybe like these things where it's just like the Palpatine thing. It was just maybe something like, my head said, my gut said Palpatine, but my head just for some reason said Vader.
Yeah.
And it's just those kind of things that I think can, trip up a Dragon Con player. Because again, like now you don't have to worry about all of canon. Now it's more focused, just the movies. But you also got to think when it's more focused, you got to start paying attention to smaller things.
Smaller details.
Smaller, fine details. And maybe she just, her head just got cross-wired for a second and said, oh, it's Vader.
Yeah. And it's not like you missed it because it was like, I just don't know. It was, you guarantee in her head, she was like, oh, this is either Palpatine or Vader. So it does suck when you have like, oh, it's this or this, and then you pick the wrong one.
Yeah.
But at least it's not like oh no, I just didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
So it's still something that she can learn from. And I'm sure that Sean probably had a couple moments where he was like, okay, well now I know next time.
Yeah.
And now I know I can approach it this way.
Yeah. And as far as Sean goes, I mean, he said it himself, like, it's not the end.
No,
it's your first match at the very beginning of the season. We still have tournaments coming up.
So much Star Wars.
And he said something really like, that's right. It's like, this isn't a tournament where I if I lose, I'm out for the rest of the season. It's like, no, we have 2 tournaments coming up. There's 2. So we can definitely see him again.
We're going to see him again.
We're gonna see him again. So now he's he's 1 and 2. I mean, again, we use Joseph Scrimshaw as an example of this all the time. 1 and 4 doesn't mean it's the end of Joseph Scrimshaw.
No, he is a beast. So no, that doesn't define.
Yeah. So
the player.
You can, like we just said with Jesse, and every time you lose, you dust yourself off, pick yourself up, learn from your loss, and then move forward. That's all you can really do with this. And
that's all you can do.
Yeah. So and it's just, I think Sean knows where he needs to improve, and I think he'll work on that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Next match, we have another opening scene. Kaiser giving a pep talk to Dan and Ben. Ben, it was him and Ben first, and Ben definitely seems kind of like not interested, unbothered, just kind of like, I'm busy kind of thing.
What do you want?
What do you want? And then they bring Dan in because Dan's got his big match. And Dan also equally as uninterested. Yeah. And he kind of went on this thing like, I don't need you to give me this pep talk.
Like, I've heard this.
I've heard this all before. I heard it from Gucci. I heard it from the exchange. I'm going to do what I'm made to do and what I've always done. Yeah. And so he's like, I don't really need this. What are we doing? Wasting my time, blah, blah. And then Ben said something interesting where he says, didn't he say something about how he was going to use Dan
to his advantage? Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, okay, spicy. And so, it was just the scene where Kaiser just kind of was trying to rein him in, and they were just kind of like, do you even know who we are?
Yeah, it's like, go away. We know what we're doing. You're just here
not our first rodeo.
You're just here because you need to be here.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And Kaiser is amazing. He's so He's so funny.
I'll fix that out. Don't worry.
Sorry.
Creating more work for me. Jeez.
He is really funny. He's so funny. I love him. And he did have a couple like things that he said during this scene that I was just kind of like, wow, Kaiser's a gem. So glad he's here. So that was a fun little scene. Mm-hmm. You know, a couple managers, their people are slipping away. Yeah. What are they going to do? Building the tension. It's crazy out there.
Can't take control of their players. You know what I mean?
What's going to happen? So, moving into Marisol. Is it Lady Justice Marisol McKee of Corruption, of course, versus the Ice Pick Vinny Mancuso of Swag. A lot of eyes in this match.
Yes.
Oh, was the trade worth it?
Yeah.
So we shall see. Round 1. They both missed a question about Gavin O'Connor directing Ben Affleck. And then I think they also both missed a Friday After Next question. 6-6 by the end of round 1. Okay. Little nervous. Round 2. Marisol goes. She spins opponent's choice. Ooh. And then Vinny just goes, oh, well, crack my knuckles. I'm going to give you Middle Earth. And as soon as we saw that in the wheel, we're like, oh, no.
That was definitely something Vinny did.
Yeah. So he gives her Middle Earth. And sure, she had a 2-point miss. Sure, it was stolen. It was how many times has Andy Serkis been Gollum? And but other than that, she swept the rest of the questions.
Yeah, did very well in this. It's like, oh,
absolutely.
Okay.
Better than people probably.
Yeah.
People probably were like, okay, this is where it spirals out of control. But she was just like,
gave up a 2-point steal, but brushed it off and went, the rest of the way.
Yeah. So. Vinny goes. He spins John Carpenter. Decides to stay with it. Goes to multiple choice twice. Got them both. Playing it a little safe. But the end of round 2, 12-14 in favor of Vinny now. Round 3. 2-pointer for Marisol. Comic book movies. What 90s comic book film had the line, "Let's kick some ice"? Batman and Robin. She got it.
God, it's such a bad movie.
That's the one where Robin is a trapeze artist.
That's Batman Forever.
Every time. Who was Robin in this one?
The same guy, Christopher something.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to worry about it.
He wasn't in Star Wars.
It's the one when Clooney's Batman.
Who cares?
Worst Batman ever.
I forgot George Clooney was Batman.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I could forget George Clooney was Batman because he was not good.
Kick some ice.
Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne. Hi, I'm Batman.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. He was like that?
Yeah.
I could just see that.
Same voice.
I could see that.
Hey, Mr. Reese, I'm Batman.
And then feeling like he did something with it. Like, cool, George. Yeah. Great acting. Yeah. Way to cover it up.
I think everybody was fully aware this movie was made to just advertise toys.
Nobody knows you're Bruce Wayne. You're really, really covering it up.
It's such a bad movie. Like, I remember watching, you can watch it, and you can tell from top to bottom, nobody cared. Because when
T to B.
the icicles, because like Freeze goes through Gotham and he freezes a bunch of cop cars, and like when the cops get out, they open the door and you see the icicles going wah, 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 wah.
Really?
Yeah, you can tell, and nobody gave anything about this movie. It's there's your ice.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
He had a couple of stupid one-liners.
A couple?
Yeah.
He had a couple?
Right? I can't
There's
think
so
of
many.
And this is
what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Oh God.
All right, everyone. Chill.
Oh yeah.
That's the one when he's in his little like lair and he's like all of his like minions are like singing. He's like, sing louder, sing.
Oh God, I'm like embarrassed hearing you describe it. Oh my God,
it's so bad. It's one of those where you get with your friends and just drink and make fun of it all night long. It's the best worst movie. One of the best worst movies like ever.
No thanks. I mean, maybe.
For comic books, most certainly probably one of the best worst movies.
2-pointer for Vinny. Black Cinema. Who plays the role of Jericho Jackson in the 1988 film Action Jackson? Carl Weathers. Unfortunately, he missed it.
Yeah.
Baby. You got a stew going. 3-pointer for Marisol. She gets Thriller. Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal star in the gritty 2013 thriller Prisoners. Who directed it? I didn't write down the answer, but Marisol knew it. She got it. Good job, baby girl. 3-pointer for Vinny. Horror. You can find a character, a tree, played by Jessica Rothy, in what Blumhouse franchise? Happy Death Day. He got it. 5-pointer for Marisol. Will Smith. The Legend of Bagger Vance, mainly set on what U.S. state? Southern U.S. state. She used JTE. It was kind of like a uh-oh.
Yeah.
But, man, she pulled it out. Georgia, she got it.
That's a great pull.
That was fantastic.
It was a fantastic moment.
She played it real cool. 5-pointer for Vinny. Spy movies. Spy thriller, real-life person Valerie Plame, whose status as a CIA operative is revealed by the media, by the White House. Yeah, no, he didn't get this one, unfortunately. It was fair game. He missed it. 17-22 in favor of Marisol. That's the worst situation, is when you're going into round 3 ahead. They hit their 5-pointer. They've done all they can, and now it's all on you. Yeah. All I got to do is answer this one question, and I win.
For both competitors on both sides of this coin, it's like for Vinny, it's like, oh man, you get it, you win, but you didn't get it. But for also on the other side of that, it's like I did all for Marisol. It's like I did everything I could possibly
now I'm just helpless.
Now I'm just praying he doesn't get this 5-pointer.
Yeah.
So that's the worst feeling.
But it was a good match. I think a lot of people are like, okay, Marisol's validated. Yeah. The trade was validated. And it's like, well, she didn't blow him out of the water.
Exactly.
They both played well. I think I think Vinny is underrated.
He's people will look at this match and be like, so was it Vinny not performing, or, you know what I mean? I can't remember it's like, was it?
Well, yeah, I heard the same thing for the next match too. Well, did they win because they play better or because the other person lost it for themselves?
Yeah, something like that.
There's always that argument, I think that's kind of. It's kind of subjective, kind of objective.
I think Vinny is underrated in this.
I think
in this case, because like, come on, man, like he said it in his promo. It's like, oh man, like we're 1-1, we're both equally record. Who do I see all over everything? Marisol, not me. And it's like he's an underrated player. Like he got a couple unlucky spins today, but he kept up. And Marisol's supposed to be, she's this amazing player that she get traded 2 picks for her. He kept up in this match. Yeah. And as far as the whole, being worth the 2 picks, and the word I was in my head and it just fell out. Not validated the trade. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. But whatever. So I guess I have to go back on this, because I said in the last episode, like, to validate that trade, she has to blow him out of the water. I don't think we can say whether that trade was worth it until the end of the season. You can't just say it right with one match. Yeah. So I'm kind of going back on what I said in the last episode. It was that wait to see where she's at the end of the season. See how many matches she racked up. See if she's won any tournaments. See if she's won a belt. Yeah. Wherever she ends up at the end of the season, then we can look back on the trade and say, was it worth it?
Yeah, I think it's really easy in the beginning of the season to just jump to conclusions, which is always what happens. Mm-hmm. Had she lost, it would have been like, oh, well, Marisol's done. Oh, my God, what's she going to do? Career's over. I feel like that's what would have happened. Yeah. And now that she won, it's like, oh, there you go. See, everything was worth it. So I feel like it's just jumping to a lot of conclusions. Yeah. And it's like, well, let's see what happens with the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And also, we were talking about it, like, I think where Marisol's biggest value is going to be this season for corruption is in teams. Yes. Because if you think about it, in corruption, Shannon's got Mike, Chance, Adam Collins, Marisol. The top 4 people that you're going to think about when you think about corruption this year and last year, arguably. Yeah. And if there's one singles tournament, you're not going to be able to play all 4. Yeah. And you're probably going to put in definitely Adam.
Depending on if he has the belt or not, yeah. And
then, Chance and Mike, I feel like I'd be surprised if one of the 2 of them wasn't put into a tournament. Mm-hmm. And so maybe Marisol, her main place she's going to fall in all of this is like, okay, well, I got deception. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about, is Marisol proving herself? Like, there's a lot to be seen. Yeah. There's a lot more for her to do alone in singles and definitely in teams. A lot of eyes are going to be on deception. So I don't think it's fair right now to be like, oh, was it worth it? Oh, see, yes or no. there's still a lot more to go, a lot more for her to do, a lot more for her to prove and say, hey, listen, this is why she did that. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about that first match. That was the first match of the season. That was my warm-up match, you know? That
my warm-up game.
So she's got a lot more to do. And I'm sure that she's like, that was only the beginning. So I'm not really worried about people being like, yes, it was worth it. No, it wasn't. I'm not worried about that yet.
I think
this
it's
girl's got a lot more to. She's got a lot more to do.
Yeah, I think with the fans and saying all that kind of speak, I think a lot of fans just live in the now.
But how it's hard not to.
It's hard not to. It's like, oh, see what this is what happened. Oh my God, it's like, let's see how it shakes out, because like we look at the standings now, we see where everybody is at now. It's like it's like I've seen this story before.
Yeah, everything sounds very familiar.
Everything right now seems very familiar, and so let's see what happens when we get 2 tournaments under our belts. Let's see what happens when we get halfway down the season and where everybody's standing, where everybody has won and lost. So
yeah, because remember last season, at this point last season, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Finstock Exchange, not fair! Oh my God!"
Yeah, corruption. Why is your team so bad?
Almost dead last. Shannon, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Yeah.
You know,
an Intergeekdom tournament happened.
An Intergeekdom singles Mike happened. Yeah. Adam Collins happened. You know, lots of things happen. But it's hard not to. You get excited about matches, and you're like, "Oh my God!" But, see. Yeah, but it's also think about it. Yeah. This time last year, corruption was floundering, and the Exchange was ruling on top.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of funny to see the same thing keep happening.
Yeah.
But there's still. And I feel like we said this exact same thing the last season. There's still a lot more season to go. At this point last season.
We're like, 4 or 5 matches in?
It just started.
This
is like
Come
the
on
first
now.
full
there's like 2 factions. 2 factions have yet to play.
Exactly.
So,
So it's kind of like,
so the whole,
I'm going to hold my horses a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody else is free to do their thing, but I'm going to hold on them.
Yeah, so I'm basically telling past Andrew to
shut up, stupid.
Let's see how how Marisol's season pans out. See where she's
Season 8,
at.
just let it happen. All right? Let it happen.
With that, I think we will go into
the next one,
which is
the main event,
the pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. There was an opening scene.
Yes, that's right.
And my goodness. So Christian is talking to 2, I'm sorry, I don't remember their names, but 2 Skybound execs, if I do say so. And it was the kind of thing that it was like, oh, hey, man, somebody's come in and they've taken it. They've assumed control.
Yeah, we've been working with this third party that I think we're gonna partner with them. We're gonna put them with you, and just to see like you meet goals. You know what I mean? And it's like every person has ever had like a 9 to 5 or something like that. It's like that's code for. So there's somebody's gonna tell me what to do.
Somebody's my boss.
Making sure to see I'm meeting quota, basically. So, and he's like, so I have a boss, right? It's like, yeah. And then they bring this third party in, and it is
Grace Hancock. That's her last name, right? I feel like nobody ever it's always just Grace. Yeah. That's all you really need. It's just Grace.
It's just Grace.
And she just comes in all of her fiery beauty and glory.
And sweet talking the execs.
Yeah.
How's the family?
She's so good.
Oh my God.
She's so good.
How's the show doing? Oh my God. Netflix is such a great place for it. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's so good. And then of course the Skybound guys leave and Christian is like, how did you do this?
Before we get to that, I like how I can't remember what got the guy on the bottom right. I don't remember his name. It's like Harloff, because Harloff is like, what's going on? And he's like, don't screw this up, Harloff.
Yeah.
Like, mind your manners, basically. It's like, oh no.
And it was the kind of thing that was like, all right, well, okay, thanks for the news. It's been great. So
so the Skybound people leave the call, and Harloff is like, how? And he wanted to swear, but he can't. It's like, how did you pull this off? And it's just like Grace, man.
Grace just has her ways, man. It is what it is. So it's gonna be fun to see what happens because Grace is just too good at what she does. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The two ladies, when I think about ladies of the Schmoedown, and when I think of two ladies that would make you just shaking your little booties if you ever were on the wrong side of, the whatever with them, would be Grace and Shannon.
Yeah.
Those 2 ladies are just so good at what they do. I'm so excited to see Grace back.
Oh,
it's going to be very interesting to see what happens the next time the Den plays, to see maybe if Grace pops in to address Kate.
Yeah.
So, and I can't wait to see what happens when Corruption plays, and maybe we get to see kind of a scene with Grace and Shannon.
Do we see Ken again? We have to have Ken back. Come on, because like Ken. I'm so glad that Shannon, that Grace is back into the fold, because like when she got ousted and fired by from the den, it's like, oh man, so I guess we're not gonna see Grace anymore. Maybe she's busy with some things.
But she's back, baby.
She's back because like you said, you think of like power presence, especially for female presence in the Schmoedown. Grace is like at the top of that list.
Grace and Shannon.
Yeah, like because like they do the mean girl thing in two completely different ways, and it's so good to see.
And it's almost to the point where it's like, is this an act? Like I know it is.
Yeah.
Like because I haven't actually spoken with Grace, but I've spoken with Shannon, and I obviously.
Yeah.
But it's kind of to the point where it's like, oh my god.
Can I leave?
At least she's not talking to me.
Yeah, it's like one of those like if they start like going at it at the dinner table, you're sort of just sitting there like you're worried to stand up because you're worried they're gonna point and you're like, sit back down, don't go anywhere. I want somebody to see this. Don't go anywhere. It's like, yes, okay,
yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see like how what does she do behind the scenes to pull it off, and like now she's technically, I think they called her I don't think they called her anything. Or is she gonna be like the president or like the CEO or something like that?
I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting.
But she's calling the shots now apparently.
What impact this has, what function she'll serve. So it'll be fun. Yeah, especially awesome. Because I know that there's also dynamics. There's definitely a dynamic between her and Christian.
Yeah.
I know Christian said something to Kaiser about it, and he was like, yeah, that Grace.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great because I know that she definitely has her own dynamics with probably each manager. So it's going to be good.
I hope Coy's not on that radar.
Boy, I don't know. We'll see.
Or Sam for that matter.
Well, we'll see. I don't know, actually. That's true. All right. Here we go. Ladies and gents.
Number 1 contender match.
We got Dangerous Dan Murrell of the Dungeon versus Jeff the Sneider of the Stars. Oh, man.
I love the promos.
What a promo.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff sent in a promo because he wasn't in it.
What?
Jeff didn't send anything in, apparently.
Well, okay, no, I'm talking about the Nerd Chronic, like...
Oh yeah.
Intro.
The intro. Yeah.
Amazing. Nerd Chronic. I could say it once, and I could say it once. I could say it a zillion times. It would never be enough.
Yeah.
Nerd Chronic is a wizard.
Yeah.
But my favorite part.
Yeah, it's my favorite. We watched this like on repeat like 50 times. I love the way his delivery.
I could watch it 100 times in a row, and it would never get old. When Dan, I should have had it queued up so I could
My team's record. Your team's team's record
doesn't mean anything in the singles division, Jeff. So good. Oh my god, it's probably so stupid, and probably people don't find it that funny.
I think it's just his delivery on it was just so good.
Jeff, it was hilarious. I watched that about 20 times in a row, and I laughed.
And it has nothing to do with Jeff Sneider. It's just the way he said.
It's just the delivery. Jeff. It's so funny. So yeah, the promo was fantastic. Oh, man. I mean, when you got these two titans going against each other, lots of game tape on them. Lots. I don't know how Eric sifts through all that years and years of footage to find just the right pieces to put together.
Yeah,
but he did it, and he does it every time. But yeah, this was a match that was a long time coming.
Yeah, they've never played each other. And 7 years of this thing, never played each other
somehow. And Jeff is always running around out there saying, "Oh, everybody's calling Dan the GOAT. Brr, brr, brr. How can he be the GOAT, greatest of all time, if he hasn't beaten me yet? How can he be the best if you haven't beaten everybody? You haven't beaten me."
Yeah.
So
a lot riding.
That's a big thing to say. You know. You put a lot of pressure on yourself saying something like that.
Yeah.
So
who was it? Dan said something really interesting. I'm like, wow, it's like the last time he played a 3-round singles match.
Yeah.
Was in New York, like 2 years ago? I'm like, my brain hurts.
Yeah. It's crazy. This is just these types of matches, these number 1 contenders, title matches. This is where Dan lives.
Yeah, and it's also like you see these two playing matches like this all the time.
All the time.
So,
Man.
Yeah.
I wish I could be that unrattled. Dan is just like, it's just another day.
He's getting up. He just had his cereal and his coffee. It's like, let's do this.
Yeah. Just woke up, got my coffee, got my feet on the ground, I'm ready to go. So, round 1. Number 1 contender match, of course, for the singles division. Round 1. Very interesting start. They both use a JTE on the first question. They both use a JTE. I forget what the question was, but the answer was Florence Pugh.
It was who either won or was nominated for Pretty Women.
Oh, something like that.
The new episode.
Not Pretty Little.
No. Like it was one of those movies. I'm trying
remember.
not to tax my brain too hard on it.
Haven't seen it. But the answer was Florence Pugh. Both used a JTE, but only Dan was the one who pulled out.
And I think
Jeff did miss it.
The big thing with this was Jeff was he had the answer.
Yeah, he crossed it out. Oh, he went to Saoirse Ronan or whatever.
Went to Saoirse Ronan.
And then went back. To the not right answer.
He went back and forth on it for some reason. Crossed one thing out, went back to it, crossed the other, or something like that.
It's the kind of thing where
ended up missing.
You got it in your gut, and you think you double, you think you're wrong, and go back on yourself, and that seems to have been what happened. That's a horrible way to have to start a match.
And again, with Jeff Sneider, the thing is,
sometimes he gets into his own head, and we've seen it happen.
And we'll get to it later on, but this seemed to be in his head the entire match.
Yeah, that's a rough way to start a match.
Yeah.
Rough tone to set for yourself. Then they both missed a movie release date question. Round 1, 6-7 in favor of Dan. Round 2, Jeff goes, spins away from sports because he figures, I want Dan to get it. Interesting tactic, considering that you only have like a 1 in 6 shot of that happening. Either him landing on sports or him landing on opponent's choice. So an interesting tactic to want them to go slice hunting.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous game. But you know what? The choice was made. So he spins away and he gets mystery films. Goes to multiple choice twice. Got both of them.
Yeah.
Did well.
Did well in it, yeah.
Dan goes. He spins wrestlers in film. Decides to spin away because, he feels okay about it, but there's other stuff.
Yeah.
Spins again. Has to do spin it again because he got like mystery films or whatever.
Yeah.
Spins again, gets wrestles in film again.
Yeah.
The Schmoedown gods wanted him to talk about wrestlers. John Cena. Please, if you get that reference,
put it in the comments section if you know that's from.
Oh man, let me know. I hope somebody out there gets it. If not, we look like a bunch of idiots. That is kind of true though, still, even as it stands.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan gets wrestlers in film. He goes to multiple choice only one time, and he got it right. He did fantastic. Yeah. So they both did really,
what was that
really
one,
well in round
What was
two.
that one question you're like, what?
Oh, Suburban Commando.
Suburban Commando. I'm like, I've seen that movie.
Hulk Hogan is an alien, and he's got to make himself seem normal. Cool. That sounds like a great premise.
It is a ridiculous film. I've only seen like twice. And he even was like, I can't believe I got this question.
There's certain parts of movies that you joke about all the time, and if you do get a question from it, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like it was Sam Levine in that one movie that we have yet to see that we talk about all the time, want to watch, Idiocracy.
Oh yeah, I do need to watch that.
I think that's one of those where he's like, he jokes about it all the time. It's like, I can't believe I got this. It's Idiocracy.
Yeah, I do need to see that movie. Pretty bad. But yeah, no, he did great. You know?
Oh yeah, going multiple choice on a new wheel slice.
Exactly.
And like he said, like it's either a new wheel slice, so it could be service level, or it could be just one of those stupid new categories.
Jump right into it.
That you can just like, all right, here you go, idiot.
Oh, and so by the end of round 2, it's 12-14 Dan, and one of my probably my favorite moment of this match was after round 2 when Mark Ellis given his usual Mark Ellis summary of what just happened. He said that Dan wrestlers in film, he spun it twice, he really must have wanted it deep inside. And Dan's face mirrored my face when he said that, and I was like, oh good, I'm so glad then.
I think he just put the emphasis on the wrong part of the sentence. And
Dan wanted it deep inside. What are you gonna say? Round 3. 2-pointer for Jeff. He gets fantasy sci-fi. Aslan is what kind of animal in the Chronicles of Narnia? A lion.
A lion, duh.
He got it. 2-pointer for Dan. Directors. Who directed the films Following and Insomnia? Chris Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
He got it. 3-pointer for Jeff. He gets crime. I feel like Jeff gets crime all the time.
All the time, yeah.
I don't know why.
Schmoedown.
Yeah, man. So he gets crime in Widows. Who plays Tom Mulligan, who gets mixed up in the Widow's plan? Colin Farrell. Got it right. Isn't he the Penguin now?
Yes.
Mr. Penguin?
Mm-hmm.
3-pointer for Dan.
I tried to breeze past it, but you wouldn't let me.
What? Try to breathe past what?
The Mr. Penguin. It's like,
oh.
No.
It's just Penguin?
No, that's his villain name, but his actual
don't
name
worry about it. It's not. It doesn't matter. It's not Star Wars. Don't worry about it. I just think it's funny because I saw those pictures of him. Oh my God, these first images of Colin Farrell as Penguin Man, and I'm just like, that doesn't. It hurts my head. That's not Colin Farrell. I still don't believe it. I still haven't come to terms with it.
Yeah.
As you can tell, 3-pointer for Dan. Comedy. In what 1980s comedy? I got auto-corrected here. Not really sure what was supposed to happen. Something about baseball player Reggie Jackson becoming a victim of mind control turns him into an assassin. The Naked Gun. Got it. 5-pointer for Jeff. He gets 90s. I feel like he also gets decades a lot.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know what it is. Schmoedown. Am I right? It is. In what 1998 comedy film did Albert Brooks, Julie Kavner, and Ellen DeGeneres lend their voices to live-action animals? He took his sweet time.
Sweet time doing this answer.
Jeff is really
good
at this. Like,
I don't know it. Oh, I actually do know it. Yeah.
And I'm like, is he playing with us? Hey. Does he actually need this time to get there? In any case, he had me going.
I think I think it didn't fool Dan at all because I think by the second repeat, he was like,
Dan was like, let's just get to it.
Just get to it. You already know what it is.
But he got Dr. Dolittle. Yeah. He got it. So now I almost said the Dan's in balls court. Balls in dance court, as we were saying before. Now Jeff did everything he could. Now we just got to wait for Dan. He gets Will Smith. Will Smith's character gets stung to death by a jellyfish in a bathtub in what 2000s film? The first question I have. Why is there a jellyfish in his bathtub?
I haven't seen the movie, so.
Maybe I need to look at Wikipedia or something. I'll go on YouTube and look it up. But why was there a jellyfish in a bathtub? That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
But anyways, 7 pounds, I guess, was the answer. Dan, took a repeat or two or a couple or whatever. And, Jeff's doing his usual thing where he thinks it's easy. So he gets up and starts flipping stuff all over his table. And Dan did pull it out 22-24 in favor of Dan Murrell. He is now the #1 contender and will be doing a rematch. It'll be Murrell Collins, part 2.
In a month.
Oh, yes. In a month. That's going to be a good one. Yes. Oh, that's right. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I cannot. It was a slugfest the first time.
And
cannot wait. Because Dan was stone cold in this match.
This match, it was like, couldn't even phase him. Like, couldn't be bothered by anything.
Hood up, don't care.
Yeah.
He looked, you want to say dangerous Dan Murrell. He looked dangerous in this match. So I cannot wait to see him take this energy and focus on corruption.
Yeah, and it almost seems like we're gearing up for Dan Murrell heel turn almost, because
kind of
he's like got an edge to him now.
And that call with Kaiser and him and Ben.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care. Like, I'm just out here to destroy the exchange type of stuff. Which
we forgot to touch on that.
Yeah, which I'm glad I'm not part of the exchange anymore because
I don't want Dan
Murrell coming for the faction.
No sir, don't want that.
Yeah. So, but it's just like from like the first question. It was like night and day with the two. Like Dan was so severely focused, nothing was rattling him. And then on the other side of it, that first question just never seemed to get out of Jeff's head.
And Roxy does what she does best,
exactly.
And she I think she did help him. I really do. Roxy really does center him, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he would attest to that. But she was always right there. She knows him so well that she can be like, I can see it on your face, Jeff. Yeah. Let it go, Elsa. Yeah. So she did what she could. But unfortunately, I think the tone was kind of set.
Yeah. And I think to Roxy's credit, I think had she not been there, he probably would have phoned it in for the rest of the match. Let the whole game crumble around him.
Who knows?
So I don't know.
He's
just one of those players. He's just one of those players where, he plays his heart on his sleeve, and he just, gets in his head sometimes and just doesn't. It's hard for him to let go of like those small little mishaps in the beginning.
And I feel like as much as Jeff Sneider, we've probably said this before. I feel like as much as he plays it off like I don't study, I don't care,
I think he
blah blah blah. I think
he
cares more than he would ever.
You don't get this like rattled and fired up about losses and wins
if you don't care.
Exactly. And if you care as much as you do, you're putting in the work.
Exactly.
So he can say as much like, oh, I don't study at all. It's like, no, I think you're studying.
That math doesn't add up, my friend. Because if you're taking things that hard, you do care. And if you do care, you're probably going to prepare to some extent. So I don't know. Doesn't add up for me.
Yeah.
Pal. Friendo. But in the post-match interview, he was distraught. When Jen asked him a question, he held up his notepad. It said no comment. And he didn't say... He did say a couple words at the end.
Yeah.
But for the duration of the interview proper,
yeah.
he didn't say anything. Roxy did all the talking. She said she was gutted for him, which I'm sure
I
she
would
was.
Be too, yeah.
I would be too.
Yeah, I've been there several times.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right there. A number one contender match, and Jeff just keeps coming this close to getting his hands on that singles belt. And then stuff like this happens. And of course, I saw a discussion in the Facebook group
about how difficult the questions.
Well, Dan had the easiest 5-pointer in the history of ever. And it's like, listen, Dan actually did
chime in,
go into that post, and I think he summed it up perfectly, because as we always all say, it's easy to say, oh, that was an easy question. But please remember how subjective it is, because Dan, he said, the questions are all easy until you don't know it.
Yeah.
Which sounds so stupid, because it's like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, well, if you've seen 7 pounds or recently seen 7 pounds or whatever, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know how difficult that question it was intended to be. If it was a 5-pointer, I imagine there was something to that question. I highly doubt that you would watch the trailer of that movie and
pick it up right away.
Pick it up from there.
Yeah, you would had to have seen the film.
If I had to guess,
and it had to be in your head somewhere. Like, oh yeah, that's right. It's that movie.
Exactly. Like if you get a question about a movie that you are familiar with and you know the answer for your 5-pointer, oh, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, guess what? I've never even heard of 7 pounds, so it's obviously not that easy of a question. So, I'm glad that Dan chimed in and kind of. I don't think
and he said something else there too. It's like people keep focusing on the things. And trying to discredit wins. I hate it when people do that.
Yeah, not even just for him, but everybody.
For everybody. It's like
it's always a matter of, well, Dan didn't actually win that. Jeff just lost it. And it's like, how about we just be happy for Dan? How about we sympathize with Jeff? How about we just let the match stand?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to necessarily be, well, Dan didn't really win that, so he's not really the GOAT. He didn't actually beat Jeff. Jeff beat himself, because I know that everybody was like, okay, so is Dan the GOAT now since he's beaten Jeff? That's what Jeff said he had to do. And so
I think the argument of the argument of Dan being GOAT has already been settled. I mean, look at how many wins he has.
Look at the man's resume.
He's defended a title 7 times. He's won it 4 times. He's one of the 3 or 4 players to ever hold 2 belts consecutively. It's like, are you kidding me right now? And he's looking to jump in a 3rd division. If he succeeds and at least sniffs the title or a number 1 contender match, come on.
What are you going to do?
There's only one person in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown who ever competed for the title in 3 different divisions. And the name is Rachel Cushing. So
Queen.
Yeah.
So is what she is. But yeah, no. It's interesting to see all the conversations that a match like this will spawn. But yeah, no, Dan, you can't deny. And you can't deny Jeff's legacy either.
Yeah, I know.
Because Jeff is a tremendous player. They both are.
He gets introduced and it's like 13 wins. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. He has 13 wins.
I haven't even played that many matches.
Yeah. I'm nowhere close to having that many matches under my belt.
So, I mean, these are 2 absolute titans in the game. You don't get to this type of a match without being that good.
Yeah, Jeff will be in this position again this season.
He just got to pick himself up, brush himself off, which you know he's going to do because he's done it time and time again. And Roxy will be right there with him as I think he needs. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful thing in having that synergy with your manager.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't make him any less of a player. Yeah. I think it just makes him that much stronger of a player.
Oh yeah, no. He'll learn from this. And last time I looked, he's still the team's champion.
Yeah, last time I looked, yeah. Yeah, that's what he said before the match. I have nothing to lose. I'm still going to have this belt by the time, win or lose. Man. But yeah.
At least you have a belt.
I am very excited. I am very excited to see Murrell Collins too.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see Dan's promo because he's just on fire.
Yeah.
So, that's coming up soon. We don't have to wait long for that.
No, we don't.
And then after that, we got a post-credit scene a la Marvel. Andrew Guy. We catch up with him a little bit. He's got his dapper suit on and everything. He's
trying to look for Bateman. Trying to look what for you Bateman.
Doing, man? Goes to Bateman's house, calling, outside, calling to the balcony for Bateman. Bateman finally comes out and he's like, "What are you doing, man?" And Drew starts going off about how he knows how to beat Mance. And that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. And Ben's like, "Scott Mance? What are you talking about?"
It's like, come on, we can beat Trek. We can get to the belts. Like, where are the belts?
Yeah, Team Trek, where are the belts? And it's like, bro, what season are you living in? Yeah. So, something's going on with Drew. Don't know what's happening.
The last line is like, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?
Why aren't you wearing a mask?" And he goes, "Why does everyone keep saying that?" So he's obviously not living here with us in the present.
Whatever the Schmoedown did to him, apparently, he's stuck in season 4. Is it?
I don't know.
One of the early Collider seasons.
He's stuck well in the past. Yeah. So I can't wait to see how this develops and see what happened to him. Does he come back? Does he get pulled back?
He can't even compete now. He's not on a faction. All the faction rosters are full.
Well, I mean, does he come back? Here, kind of thing.
But still,
does he come back to the present?
Yeah, because I think everybody's like, "Oh man, we're gonna see Drew." Guys, like, he can't compete. He's not on a roster. But like, I cannot wait to see where this goes, because like the second I'm like, because
juicy.
I had my thoughts in his head. It's like, he's back in the Dastardly get up, and he's like, "I need to talk to Bateman," and it's like, he's gonna be stuck in like a past season.
I didn't see it coming.
And then like this is confirmed. I'm like, "Yep, this is awesome. This is amazing."
Andrew Guy is a treasure.
And I just love the like, why does everybody keep saying that? Like, where's your mask?
So good. So good.
It's so good. I
can't wait to see where it goes. This is one of my favorite storylines is happening.
Yeah,
right
there's
now.
so many, like Kristen said, storylines are back in full force. We have so many good storylines going now.
Oh yeah.
We got the thing with Winston, we got the thing with Grace, now we got this thing with Andrew Guy. Like, what year is it?
What's happening?
It's like Jumanji. What year is it?
Yeah. Can't wait to see where it goes. Just gonna let it happen.
Just gonna let it happen.
Just gonna let it happen, baby.
Yeah, so those were the 4 matches and all the cutscenes this past week. Do we have next week's queued up?
Oh, God.
Just so we can get out of here.
Hold on, everybody.
Don't want to drag this episode on too long.
Such a jerk.
Got other stuff I got to do today,
Why didn't I have this queued up?
Got studying to do.
Studying, maybe some yard work. We still have about 80 pounds of leaves.
That's true, too. Being a homeowner is amazing.
It's cool.
It's so cool. You have HOA breathing down your neck. Pick up your leaves. Pick up your leaves. Pick up your leaves.
It's like, pick up your leaves, bro. Yeah. Your yard doesn't look great either. It looks like they actually updated it, so now it's not in reverse order.
Good,
okay. Wednesday, March 10th, we got Saul from the Den
versus
John Humphrey from the Quirky Mercs of the Inner Geekdom division. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get that. Thursday, the 11th, we got Brother Lomas of the Finstock Exchange versus Frankie Alvarez of the Usual Suspects in a singles match. We've got Friday, March 12th, we've got Chance Ellison of Corruption versus Brendan Meyer of the Quirky Mercs.
Mercs got 2 matches this week.
That's going to be a big one, too. And then, actually, no, that's it for the week.
That's it. No pay-per-view this week.
No pay-per-view this week. 3 great matches.
Yes,
we got Inner Geekdom. We got singles.
Inner Geekdom, a rookie singles match, and then a big card for Friday. So.
Oh, yeah. Cannot wait.
Not going to give predictions. We are the Kiss of Death here, so.
Nope. I don't want anything
Don't want any part of that. 2 of my faction mates are going up, so I'm not going to say
anything. Even if they're already
anything.
taped, I don't care. I don't want to rewrite history by making my own predictions.
Anyway, so we'll go ahead and end this episode here so we don't drag on anymore. Nicki Dimalanta, Star Wars competitor Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Dimmy. DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you listen to this on audio form, please follow the feed and rate us if you can.
And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell icon in the lower right-hand corner to see when we do things on YouTube.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you next time.